BlueSpecs review is going to be taking a look at another Great Divide beer. This is their Haas Rye Lager. Now, I've never heard of a Rye Lager before. I've heard of a Rye Ale, I've heard of Rye IPAs, many of which have been pretty good. You know, I do like the flavor of rye. I've never ever heard of a Rye Lager before. Great Divide is a really awesome brewery, really. They've put out a lot of awesome things, and I've had their Colette Saison, I've had their oak-aged espresso Yeti, the regular Yeti, another kind of Yeti stouts, and you know, I've had gosh, what was that one I had? I had another one from them. I can't remember what it was called though. They make really exceptional beers. So I'm interested to try this. This beer gets an 86 on Beer Advocate. The bros haven't looked at it, and it's 6.2 ABV. It was bottled on August 12th, 2014, and I'm inclined to think that since it was bottled, since it's 6.2 ABV, that the time it was bottled is kind of fine. I mean, maybe it might be a little old. We'll see. So let's go ahead and get it. I've never had this before. I don't see any smoke. I don't know if you did either, but if you did, I'd be happy to know. Sorry, you can't see the pour. I apologize for that. Yeah, there's a thin little film at the bottom, and I swished it and it came out quickly. Just a thin little film, thinnest little film. Yep. When I poured it at first, it was pretty clear, but now that I've swished that little film at the bottom, it's cloudy as hell. The body, I poured it in the center. We have just like a little cap, like a little tiny thin head, very thin. The body is reddish brown with a little bit of orangish yellow shades as highlights as in the light. I can see little particles floating around and your occasional bubble. The head is not impressive. I was expecting maybe a little more from that head, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm just talking about what I think I expect, but that doesn't really matter as to what the beer's going to be like. Yep, I pick up that rye aroma. I've had that in IPAs, like the Flipside Red Rye IPA from Sierra Nevada. I know that smell, and that's there. Some slight hops there as well, and that's really it. So let's go ahead and try this. I've never had it before. The rye flavor is there, and there's a slight shade of hop flavor beneath that. There's no bitterness, but there's a hop flavor. Bitterness, the IBUs, I would guess maybe 10 or 15, but the hop flavor is there. Jay Terrio was talking to his Louisiana Beer Hughes. He was talking about how there's a difference between hop flavor and bitterness. And there's a definite difference between those two. There's a slight bit of barley malt sweetness there too, and it's a balanced thing going on. I'm not impressed right now. I mean, I'm just not impressed. I'm gonna get to why after I tell you what the feel is like, the mouth feel. It's light, dry, slightly effervescent on the tongue. I can feel those bubbles, and yeah, drinkable, refreshing, no, but drinkable. I think that rye is something that is better served with uber hoppage. There's hops here, but there's no uber hoppage here. I'm just not impressed. I mean, this is probably the first Great Divide beer that I'm not impressed with. Just not in. I'm not into this. I just think that a rye flavor is better placed in an IPA to enhance a IPA's flavor. To me, this is just a weird rye flavor, a little bit of hop flavor, a little bit of bottom malt flavor, and that's it. So I'm not really into it. I'll give it a C plus. I mean, if you might like it, I'm just saying I don't like the rye flavor in lager. I don't like the rye flavor by itself in a lager like this. I mean, I get it. I get the rye flavor. I get everything, and I just, in my opinion, rye in a beer is better placed along with uber hoppage, just like a thing that comes with uber hoppage, like in a rye IPA. So that's just my opinion. I did get this as a single though, which I'm happy I did because I would not be happy to have a six pack of this. I'm gonna give it a C plus. I think it's worth trying. However, I would not be into purchasing more of this. I think Great Divide has a lot more beers out that are better than this. But that's just my opinion. Maybe you will like it because I think personally I think that Great Divide Brewing Company puts out a lot of great things, So definitely worth trying. Definitely worth your money and your money and your palate and your time. Check it out.